So this episode is sponsored by none other than
Helago Wines.
Jamaican culture and class in a bottle.
In a bottle. In a nice bottle. In a very premium style bottle.
It's giving culture.
It's giving class.
Yeah, I definitely see that.
Yeah.
So what are the 3 flavors?
Have OTT apple, yum, pineapple, and guava.
Nice.
No, that's exotic.
No, I like those 3. Those are very Jamaican
It's
flavors.
very Jamaican.
Yeah. Like guava wine.
Yeah,
Who would think
I like
that?
that.
Yeah.
I like that.
But I definitely love it.
And the ABV is not too high. It's 10%. So it's just enough to get the party started, I feel like.
Yeah.
We have a little discount code, guys.
Yes.
So you can try it.
Goodgal 10 for a 10% discount. Click the link in the description.
Definitely.
So you will see us drinking our Helago wines going forward on each episode.
Alrighty.
You look good, you have all of the something they bought you. Yes, goodie!
Hello guys and welcome back to the Goodgal podcast, and I am here with 2 very, very special guests. So to my right you have Zhane Podmore. Am I pronouncing your name right? Zhane Podmore. See, I'm terrible. So can you tell me a little bit more about yourself?
Yes, so I am from Barbados. You can hear from my accent now that I'm talking. I am from Barbados. I'm a marketer.
Nice.
So that's what brought me here, actually. And I dance. I dabble in a lot of things in the creative industries. And yeah, that's a bit of it. A little bit.
Just a little
bit.
razzle dazzle.
Yeah.
And to my left, you have Dawson Lewis. Introduce yourself. Tell me about. I know Dawson too well. We used to work together. But you tell them about you.
All right. I'm Dawson Lewis. I'm Vincentian. I have worked in the commercial space for a number of years. I've worked with a lot of different Caribbean brands, particularly, and love music. Big passion of mine. Also in that industry. So yeah, great to be here. Look forward to having a great discussion.
Nice. So, as you can hear, I'm from Jamaica, obviously. We're all from different parts of the Caribbean. And then, as you can see by this week's topic, it's how the Caribbean differs. So, of course, we try to bring in people from different Caribbean islands who, they're currently living in Jamaica. But they are definitely the best of the best. So, Dawson, for example, I know you've lived in how many Caribbean islands?
5, I think. Yeah.
5, yeah. And for you, it's
just 1. Well, 2.
2,
yeah.
2. So you've lived in Barbados and now you're living in Jamaica.
Yeah.
So you guys are the perfect people to kind of speak on the different Caribbean experience. So how did you find coming to Jamaica? Like, what was it like, or what brought you to Jamaica?
Oh, that's for me.
Yeah, that's for you first. Or you can answer first.
What brought me to Jamaica? Okay, so I think a lot of it was professional for me. It was about professional growth. Jamaica is the largest English-speaking Caribbean country, and one of the largest populations.
Why does it hurt you? Like, it hurts you to say that. Like it's painful for you to say that.
No. I was actually I was excited. I have had ties to Jamaica. My parents did undergrad degrees here.
Okay.
I spent some time here as a little boy. So I was actually excited about the move here. I believe that there was going to be many more opportunities just based on the size of industry here and obviously population.
Yeah.
So that was actually exciting for me.
Okay.
So that was part of a big part of the move here. Yeah.
I want to know more about that, but we'll touch on it soon. How about you, Z?
Similarly to Dawson, I moved here because, yes, it is a larger English-speaking Caribbean country. And
for a market,
Yes, especially. And in Barbados, the market is extremely small. And every time, I have lots of friends from Jamaica. So every time I would visit, I would just be so intrigued by all the ads and, the opportunities for branding and marketing. And I was just like, I definitely need to come here for professional growth, just to challenge myself and see how I can thrive best in a bigger market. And that's why I chose to come here. And it's been great.
Nice. That's good. So tell me something. So you're from St. Vincent and have lived in 5 islands. You didn't mention which 5 islands, by the way. Yeah, you need to list them for us.
St. Vincent, Grenada, St. Lucia, Jamaica. What did I miss?
It's 4.
That's 4.
Yeah, so it's 4.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. So, what's your favorite thing about where you're from?
Oh, it has to be the beaches and the people.
Yeah.
I mean, Barbados is filled with such lovely, pristine beaches, and
I agree.
free. They're free.
They're
Sorry.
free. I agree.
No shade.
I agree. No, I agree.
They're free. They're easily accessible, and you literally can take a 10-minute drive and you're by a beach.
Yeah.
If so much. Like literally you're just right there. So that is a major pull for me. And our people. Our people are super friendly. We're super chill. You don't have to worry about, watching your back or anything like that.
Yeah.
We say what it is, we help you, we try to lead you in the right way, and it's just vibes.
Ah, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. I've actually been to Barbados twice. So I went once for work and once for vacation. And yeah, I think I share the same sentiments. And all of the Bayesian people that I work with, because I work in like a multicultural company, so a lot of the people that I work with are the Bayesians that I work with are very cool. Y'all are spicy though. The women are spicy. Like some of y'all are spicy. But then I was saying a Jamaican, right? Yeah. But I think the women are spicy. I think so. What about you? What's your favorite thing about St. Vincent?
Favorite thing about home? It's home. But the food.
The food, okay.
Food is good. And I love our music, and I like our people's energy. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. So, do you believe your island has a strong culture? And what is it? What is that culture like? What is it? What's St. Vincent best known for?
Our people, the warmth of our people is something I hear a lot. I think we are, generally kind, and people that look out for each other, and even for strangers. I find that we have a culture of people who are willing to help and go the extra mile. So that's one of the things that kind of
Culturally, okay.
Culturally, yeah.
I think I know what you're gonna say, but what are you gonna say? What's the standout culture thing from Barbados?
We do have a strong culture, and truthfully, I love the fact that we keep it traditional. I would say, even like especially in our festivals. So we have tons of festivals. We have like Whole Town Festival, which specifically celebrates the first settlement of Barbados, and we still celebrate that. We have the Oysters Fish Festival, which is it pays homage to the fishing industry. We have
which is huge there, right?
Yeah, it is crop over for sure.
Yeah, that's what I thought you were gonna say. Crop over.
I was gonna leave that for last, but I was going down the calendar, and I was just like, seriously, everybody anticipates crop over.
Yeah.
It's second to Trini Carnival, if they say that, but I'll say it's first. Anyways, but no, it's up there. It's up there for sure. And we have the Food and Rum Festival as well. So
I did a rum tour there as well. Your rum tour is nice as well.
We are the birthplace of rum. Must plug that there.
Okay.
We are the birthplace of rum.
We'll see.
So,
okay, fair. Yeah.
So yeah, no, we definitely maintain those traditions, and I absolutely love that about the culture of Barbados. And to add to that, you can still find chattel houses in Barbados. So we keep it traditional with our architecture as well.
Okay, nice. And I have to cut to say this episode is sponsored by Helago Wines. So we are currently Dawson is drinking the guava wine, and Z is drinking the OTET apple. I'm drinking guava as well. So shouts out to Helago Wines. Okay, so now that both of you are living here, what are some of like the key differences you notice from being in your home countries versus being in Jamaica? Why did you guys look at each other like there's some secrets? I want to know. We're gonna find out how they really feel about this, guys.
Oh gosh, the pressure.
Okay, so geographically, I think St. Vincent is like a smaller version.
Yeah.
Interestingly. Like, so when I look around and the scenery and topography, very similar. With the exception of Kingston. That's a city, right?
Okay.
We don't have that.
You don't have,
But, I feel like everywhere outside of Kingston that I've traveled to and seen and visited, it feels like home to some extent. I love Portland.
So you don't
For
really see
example.
much differences.
Not necessarily, not from that perspective.
Yeah.
Right? No, we start talking about culture and attitude and interaction, then we open another kettle of fish.
No, tell me what you're thinking. Let me know how you really feel. I really want to know.
Well, I mean, the one thing I and this can be a pro and a con, but it's your boldness, right? I think you're the boldest of us. When I say us, of Caribbean people.
Yeah, definitely.
Very bold,
Yeah.
sometimes aggressive.
Okay.
Sometimes.
I can understand that. Yeah.
Yes, but
Yeah.
I think that speaks to some of the history of the country. I think that's ingrained in Jamaicans. And like I said, I there are times I love it, and there are times
They're
I
like,
help.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
fair. So what about you, Z?
The same thing, actually. The aggression. You say sometimes, I say all the time. It's like on 100 here
Yeah.
for me. And that's something that's coming from a country that, we are very passive, I find.
Very chill.
Very
That's
chill.
true. Very chill, very
we
relaxed.
take our time, all right, we say we're going to get it done. We're going to get it done, on our time.
Yeah.
In the general sense.
Yeah.
But here it's like, no, we have to get it done. This is what it is. And you speak your mind. So the boldness for sure.
Yeah.
Like, we will beat around the bush if we want to. But y'all just say it like it is. Y'all don't care.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, okay, I get that. I get it. And it is true because of your history, it's still very much ingrained in your society right now. One of the other differences too is something that I took for granted was the fact that I'm going to say, whatever.
No, it's free. Like, speak your mind, for sure.
We have free healthcare and education, and here that's not the case.
For sure not. Yeah.
Right. So for me, that was a shocker. But then I had to think, okay, we are a smaller island, so that is possible, whereas here is like a bigger population.
Yeah.
So that's something I really took for granted, because even thinking about the future, like if I wanted to live here, if I wanted to raise my family here, like I have to study, okay, I need to be thinking about school fees from
literally
preschool until tertiary.
And then the quality of school as well is a factor, because like we have prep school here and primary school, and prep school is literally smaller classrooms. It's gonna be more expensive. There's more exposure to, for example, things like swimming, dancing, art, so you get more in the curriculum versus primary school, which is just like the basics and all of that. So we do have that in terms of difference. So there is a cost difference and there is a quality, but not in terms of the educational quality, but more the quality of exposure versus primary and prep. But I always say we all end up in the same high schools. So
that's true.
It's like, so, but then, so there are parts of our education that is subsidized, but it is, I know that for sure, everybody always says your prime minister is the Caribbean's prime minister.
I mean,
we give her that, right? So, I can see that key difference, how it would be like a shocker to you.
Yeah,
but
definitely. And then because of that, the hustle mentality here is super real, because we at least have a backbone to, fall back on. But here is like, no, you have to fend for yourself. So people value things more here, I find.
Okay, nice. So do you think, so you guys have been to going back and forth from Jamaica to your different islands. I know you have ties in St. Lucia, ties in St. Vincent, etc. Do you think that you're treated differently in the airports? Because I, as a Jamaican, I'm going to tell the truth. Traveling around the Caribbean is a very horrific experience. When I get into the island, I'm good. The people are nice. But I don't know what it is like at the airport, going between ports. I don't know. Do you guys feel that?
I'm going to tell you the truth. I don't feel that.
You see?
But I think it's because of, history.
How aggressive we are.
Yeah. And some other factors as well.
Yeah.
But, I guess there's a stigma attached to Jamaicans. And I know that for a fact, because in Barbados, when you go through customs and you're among Jamaicans, they get treated rough. And I think it's probably
Barbados customs was the worst customs. No, I'm not even joking. I had a jewelry box and I'll never forget. The lady was like flipping through my jewelry box and I'm just like, what did I do to this lady?
Yeah.
Yes,
it's just like a stereotype that they have in their mind, and it's kind of unfortunate.
Yeah.
But I mean, you can't really erase history, unfortunately. So
what about you? Do you feel it or do you? Or even when you go back home, do you guys feel like they're like your friends are like, yo, in Jamaica now? Or you know, like there's a little
No, I think okay. So in terms of travel in the Caribbean, I guess maybe I'll address the solution. I think we need to start seeing ourselves as one more. Definitely, and I guess that's why we're here having this discussion.
for sure.
Exactly.
For sure.
Because we don't,
Yeah.
right? and it comes with all the stigmas and presuppositions about
Yeah.
who we are or who we are not.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I think that's what creates the experiences we have sometimes, the negative ones more specifically. So I have had, a few different run-ins, particularly at immigration or customs when traveling.
Yeah.
But I do think it's an opportunity, is what I would say. And I think it starts with having these kind of dialogues, right?
Yeah, for sure. What is one thing that you can say, okay, I do not like, see, this is your platform, this is your chance to rein in on us. What is one thing you can say, like, I don't like about Jamaicans?
Ooh, why are you looking at me first?
I can go.
I feel like I was here the least. I'd say it would be the aggression, though. Sometimes, like, I get it, but then I'm just like, is it really that necessary?
Yeah.
Like,
I live here and I feel like it's
treat
necessary.
you unfairly because just to get my way. No.
Yeah.
I can't be of that nature.
Yeah.
It's very hard.
It's very hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially when doing I feel like when we're doing basic transactions, like this week I've been sorting out traffic tickets, right? And because there's a deadline here in Jamaica where you have to sort them out before a certain date, or basically they can impound the car, take your license, you can't renew your license. Drama, right? So that law comes into effect on the 1st of February. So everybody's trying, and it's like the processes. About 5. About 5. Like, I'm not joking. I'm not joking. About 5. I have never paid a ticket. It's terrible. I'm very at risk. So I paid one the other. I paid one last week. But overall, our processes, I must say, is very annoying.
Yeah.
And then it makes you. It's almost like you have to respond with that level of aggression. So I understand where you're coming from.
That's
I definitely
another thing
understand.
too, actually, the system here is very interesting.
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave it at interesting.
Yeah.
The process is not as streamlined as you would expect it to be.
For sure. For sure.
So we say Jamaica or Jamaicans?
Both.
So big one is the processes. I think one of my surprises was the lack of probably technology included in processes here. I think, as I said, coming here, I'm like, okay, I'm going to the bigger market. Things should be a bit more streamlined. I expected a bit more. So there was a bit of surprise at some of those processes. And then you experience the boldness and aggression
while doing these processes.
While trying to transact. And the customer service is also special.
Yeah.
Very special.
I feel like you're supposed to walk into some businesses or organizations and know what you're there to do and how to do it.
For sure.
So yeah, that's been a special experience.
Yeah.
But I think on a bigger note, one of my, and this probably will open a whole big different discussion, but one of my biggest concerns in Jamaican culture is the uptown downtown culture.
Oh yes, I was going to talk about the classism.
Okay.
So I don't know if you want
there's
to
a lot of
that
no man, you can't go get into it like this. So you feel like there's a wider divide in terms of classism.
That needs a whole course.
No,
that's where you're from, really. So it's not like that in St. Vincent or Barbados.
No, it's not. I mean, of course, you would have. Of course, it will exist, but the coexistence is much better or smoother than it is here.
Here, okay, yeah. So, give me examples. What?
I'll back up. So, we hear it in the music. It's in a lot of in a lot of dancehall songs. Artists have made it a big point of conversations in all the different genres of music that come out to Jamaica. Hearing it in the music and then coming here and understanding it and experiencing it is completely different, and understanding that it's not just something people say. It is actually ingrained. And there's a belief system, and it's a dividing line as well. Socially dividing, economically dividing, culturally dividing. And that was quite an experience for me,
Yeah.
actually experiencing what it means and what the meaning of those two terms are.
What was your first experience that you can probably share that you remember? Like, damn, they're separate.
The first one was just when I moved here, and I kept being asked this question, which was, where do you live?
Yeah.
And I didn't understand why was it so important?
Because they want to see if you're in the Kingston 6, Kingston 8, Kingston, you know? They don't want
understand.
Yeah.
I didn't understand why was that important.
Yeah.
I made it a point not to actually say anything. I don't really get into that. I don't think it matters, but it seems to matter here.
Yeah, I feel like you get asked that question a lot here. Like, where you live? Like, where you know what I mean? And it's almost like, and then once they figure that out, they kind of size you up. Like, they're like, okay, you're this type of person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And then even who you associate with, definitely. I mean, like, I've never got asked the where do you live question, but I've gotten eyes on who I'm around. So, I mean, that in itself speaks to the classism for sure.
Yeah.
I think that it's a very interesting dynamic. It's a very cliquish dynamic, especially coming from a country where I kind of know everybody and everybody gels together. Even if you don't know them like personally, you still vibe with them. Coming here was a bit of a shocker for me as well, because I was just like, wow.
Yeah.
Who do you make friends with?
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to navigate, the friendship circle.
You know what's funny? I was speaking to a friend of mine from Trinidad, and she came to, I think it was our last carnival was, real carnival was 2019, right? And she came to Jamaica Carnival because at the time it was getting more exposure, all of that, so she really wanted to see it. And she was like, why do you guys have VIP sections in Carnival? She thought it was weird. She was like, Renee, why do they have VIP? Why is there a VIP? That's not how Carnival is. And I'm like, I've never been to Trinity Carnival. I don't know what it's like, right? And then she's like, no. She's like, I've been to Barbados, I've been to Trinidad, and I've been to, I think she went to St. Kitts Carnival. And she was like, it's not like that. Like, there's no VIP, there's no sections, there's no cabanas. Yeah.
So this art imitates life.
Yeah.
So you see it particularly in the entertainment sector here. There was an event recently that had 5 different sections almost, right?
Yeah.
But what it is doing is, I say, playing on or feeding into that psychological perception and perception of what it is to be Jamaican to some extent. Right?
And catering to those people.
And where does everyone fit?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Okay.
And you see it all the time in the entertainment industry, particularly at events. So we're talking about carnival and bands and things like that. It's not that we don't have VIP, right? In Barbados or St. Vincent or St. Lucia, but it is on another level here.
Yeah.
And the need to be in the VIP or in that space associated with the
certain people,
seen and heard,
and
acknowledged.
Okay.
I think that it's really perpetuated, and so there's a desire that is created to be that or to be in those circles and spaces.
And do you guys think that, so in terms of in your experience, do you feel like once you're with a certain set of people, you're treated differently than if you're with another set of people? Not just overall, like, what's your experience like when navigating, in this space? Both of you are looking at each other like, I don't want to say it. I don't know. Question stress them out, guys.
Yeah, boy. Go, Dawson.
Okay. Am I treated differently? Probably not treated differently. Am I perceived differently? Definitely.
Okay.
Based on who I may be around.
Yeah.
Or sitting with at a table.
And then that naturally for me personally, okay, so I can speak, let me help you guys out a bit. So I can speak to it because, for example, I just know that it's a uncomfortable feeling to go somewhere and not be covered or not like necessarily be. So for example, a popular place, Ribbies, you don't want to go there if you're not in a VIP section because it's like a club. It's like, it's uncomfortable, like it's clutched up, it's whatever. You're going to want to be somewhere that is a comfortable space. So I'm naturally not going to go if I'm not going to be in a VIP area.
But Renee, I want to interject there.
Yeah.
The fact that the general seems uncomfortable is already historically driven into what was going on in slavery days. So
I can see
the
that.
question is, does slavery exist in modern day society?
In different ways.
In different ways. Because it sure feels that way. I feel like, I mean, this is the elephant in the room here.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's a case where if you're a general or if you're a nobody, you're treated as like crap.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have to be somebody in order to really experience the full experience
of things.
here.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's right.
Yeah. And it's not what you know, it's who you know. Because who you know makes you be
Links
treated
here.
better.
Ooh, child.
Yeah.
Well,
And if you're around the right people, you don't pay for anything.
I mean, I don't think this is unique to Jamaica.
Yeah.
No.
This is a societal,
Mm-hmm.
global societal issue. It's about what we have become and what we place emphasis on: titles,
Mm-hmm.
position, and circle.
Yeah.
Right? And that we attain value from those things, from that association.
Yeah.
Right? I think as humans, we need to get back to seeing value in human beings. And not,
but you know what it is too?
And not entitled.
To Jamaica, as you're completely correct, but I think Jamaica is more Americanized. No.
That's
So I
true.
think that is probably what is leading it.
Yeah.
Like we are
definitely.
we are very driven by international culture more than I think people know.
Yeah.
So like I feel like even brands and stuff and how do you guys go so hard with brands in the different islands? Like, well, you guys have like a whole mall in Barbados with like name brands and all of that. Is it like because I feel like
No, I feel the association with brands here is next level in comparison to in Barbados. Like, I feel we love nice things, but we're not going to pull our pocket and pull our savings just to get the next Louis Vuitton bag. Like, that is not us.
Yeah.
Some people probably because that's their preference, but for the generally no. No.
Yeah, there's a I must have.
Yes, here.
Yeah.
It's not that I would like to have it.
Yeah.
Have to.
I have to have it. This thing dropped last week, and I must have it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean the branding, and I think it's all interconnected, right?
Mm-hmm.
That you must look a certain way.
Great.
right?
True.
You must wear a certain style.
Yeah.
Wear certain brands. That it's all tied together.
Yeah. Do you guys have heavy BBL culture? Like, do you guys have a lot of women doing BBLs in where you're from? Like, because I feel like
No.
Really?
Yeah.
That's so interesting.
Not like here.
That's
Not like
interesting.
here. Mm-mm.
So image, right?
Yeah. Okay.
So you said this a lot. Every Jamaican is a celebrity.
Yeah, no, I'm telling. No, I said that, and I literally. So me and Dawson worked together, and I said to him all the time. I said it's not. I said Jamaican people. It's so funny, right? Because you have this wide dividing class system, but the poorest Jamaican will tell you, she no more than me. Him no more than me. Like all of us think in ourselves that we are a celebrity, and we act, and that is where the boldness, the attitude, and all of that comes from, because we genuinely think we're stars.
I think it comes from the fact that there's resistance, and they want that.
Yeah.
They want to be seen. They want to be heard. They want to be treated equally, and by extension of that, they have to do all of that to be there.
Yeah.
So I love that.
Yeah.
So like I said, some of this, there's a dichotomy of these things. I love that because it's about self-value.
True.
Right?
True.
I mean, everybody here, and that's one of the things I love about Jamaicans, is I am me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's true.
Love that pride for sure. But I think we have to look at what drives it.
Yeah.
Right? And what is at the heart of the need to do that, to feel like, hey, gotta have that. You know?
Fair.
So there's a huge culture of focus on the material for sure, and I think it's changing everywhere. So let me be fair, it's happening in our islands as well. It's not different, but then because of natural scale, you see it and feel it much more. And because of one of the things that also surprised me, I did not realize. I mean, yes, I knew geographically Miami is right there.
Yeah.
But this is like
We just take
Taking my
and it's
home for
You're taking the
real.
plane like you're taking the bus.
yeah,
Yeah.
because it's like 200 US. Like on a good day, it's like a 200,
So
250.
that-
Yeah,
I mean, and this is not new.
yeah,
right?
yeah.
You've had access to travel for many
Yeah.
years. So, for example, St. Vincent, our airport was finished. Our international airport was finished in 2017.
Yeah.
Damn.
Right, so I think it's going to change. That's going to happen
Naturally,
as well.
yeah.
That's part. Development happens, cultural impact, and that exchange of culture happens.
Yeah.
It's just been happening here much longer.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay, fair.
And so that access, the impact of the media, as well, I think drives that for sure.
Okay.
That's one big difference for sure that I've recognized.
Okay. Okay, so with all of that being said, there's always Caribbean wars. There's always Caribbean wars. When Twitter, TikTok, all of that. Like we saw it recently where Haiti against Jamaica, blah, blah, blah. We saw that Trini jumped in and helped. That was the first time I've ever seen Trini and Jamaicans come together. Like, I messaged my friend and I'm like, are you seeing this? Like, that's the first time I've ever seen Trinis and Jamaicans come together. So it was funny. But how do you feel about Caribbean wars? Or like, have you participated? Or what do you think?
Bajans and Vinci's have a thing too, by the way.
Really? I didn't know
Which
that.
is interesting because
Oh,
every time I
yes.
go to St. Vincent, I'm welcome there. But I don't know if it's
We
because
have a buzz.
I've never experienced
We
that,
do,
so I
we
can't
do.
talk about that.
I know Trinis and Bajans too. That's what I know.
I know.
Yeah.
That I know.
And I know everybody and Jamaicans. That I know.
I think it's because y'all are the largest and you do have access
Big
to
target.
Yeah. You have access to a lot of resources that we don't have.
Yeah.
Or I should say perceived resources that we do not have.
Oh, I think Jamaicans are great at looking great from the
Oh, yes.
outside.
Oh,
But when
yes.
you're in, you're like,
Oh yeah.
Oh yes, y'all have Grand Jamaica on
we
lock.
have Brand Jamaica
Okay.
on lock, right? And even when you're treating us terribly, we will talk terribly about Jamaica to each other, but you can't.
Exactly.
You can't. Like it's like,
Exactly.
don't you dare. You know what I mean? So yeah. So do you feel like, how do you experience Caribbean wars? Or like, have you ever participated? Have you been like, no?
Because I strongly believe in the power of CARICOM and CSME.
Facts.
And I really wish that CSME was able to actually be active as the plans were
Right,
with the
yeah.
movement of that. Because it's so important. We all have resources in our respective territories.
That
and
could help each other.
Exactly. We are small.
Yeah.
Can someone let me run CARICOM, please?
Please.
Yeah.
You know?
I think there's so much potential that is
So much.
Too much egos happen there.
Yeah.
There's a
There's
lot
so
of
much
egos.
potential for us to work together, to
Yeah.
go together, to build things, to learn from each other.
Yeah.
We're not exploring, and I think at this point it's a nice idea.
Mm-hmm.
But it should be a lot more.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know, in terms of the wars, I don't participate. You know, I pay attention.
Of course.
But because I'm a believer in collaboration.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I think that's the beauty of what we have at our disposal. We are so much alike and yet so different.
Different. Yeah.
There's beauty in diversity.
Yeah.
Right? So I'd love to see less of it, right? But we know that social media perpetuates this, and we know that negative news and energy and commentary spreads
Yeah.
faster than anything that's
Yeah.
positive. I'd love to see more positive conversations about why we're different, how we're different, how we're alike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, what we appreciate about the differences.
Mm. Okay, fair. What about you? So you just don't participate, you don't find it valuable, anything. Yeah.
Like
Do you
Dawson,
keep up with it though?
I keep up with it, of course. I mean, there's certain tidbits that you find interesting.
Hot topic.
Of course.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
and you want to,
And there's some jokes. There's some bit like there was one where they imitated us, and I was like, damn, we're really like that. Like it's like sometimes they're like, oh yeah, we are really like that, you know?
It is
Yeah.
true. It is
The
true.
imitations are great.
Yeah, the imitation.
Memes and,
Yeah, yeah.
You got some fun. You got some jokes out of those. But honestly, like, I feel more platforms need to be about, like Dawson said, need to be about the integration, you
Mhm.
know, learning from each other. And instead of picking fights, yes, we have our disparities, but it's more about learning from each other.
Yeah.
Learning and utilizing our resources.
And appreciating culture.
Yes.
Appreciating each other's culture.
Yes.
Because there's some unique things like that I just love, right?
Yeah.
Like I think that like Jamaicans are gonna hate that I said this, but I think the best fish I've ate is in Barbados actually. Like the actual best fish I've had is like in Barbados. Like, and I know we have our Helsha fry fish and all of that, but like I don't know, there's something. I think the food there I had really good fish there. Like the first time when I went for vacation, I didn't love it, but the second time, like I was actually with somebody from Barbados and they knew where to go, so they took me to this fish place, and I was like, wow, like this is really good.
And our fine dining culture too.
Yeah. There's a restaurant there, the Cliff or something.
Yes.
There are a few
Fancy.
ones.
Yeah, there are
Very,
a
very
few nice
fancy.
ones.
You guys are really developed as a
We are, and I will say that we are making strides, but we're not there yet. And I feel like the help of our Caribbean brothers and sisters would make it so much more impactful.
I think
And it's not just to make it impactful for the specific country, but for all of us.
all of us. True.
Yeah.
True. So I think one thing I know that drives the Caribbean wars is the dating. There's something about dating outside of your culture that makes, because for example, right? I think that when like no, but there's something. Both of you guys are right. Like, but I think that when you guys, for example, when Beige, like I've had this discussion with somebody at work who's Bajan, and she's like, she doesn't like to see Bajan, she doesn't like to see Bajan men dating Jamaican women. I'm like, why? She's like, there's so many amazing Bajan women. Do you guys feel that way, or do you? I know you don't care. You date everybody.
I feel attacked.
You date everybody. You don't care. You don't discriminate.
I feel attacked.
But like, but do you feel like, you know, when it comes to dating, like how do we differ, and is it like okay, like inter-Caribbean dating, like how do you navigate that space? Like,
I don't think anything is wrong with inter-regional dating.
Mhm.
I feel like we share a lot of similarities.
sure.
There are differences.
Oh, for sure.
Mhm.
And those differences are strong.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
gonna lie.
Yeah.
But once you get to understand the person and have a little patience, knowing that these are different cultures, then it can make the relationship or the process work.
Yeah.
But you have to be willing to be patient.
Yeah. True.
Patience is
Patient.
Trust me.
Yeah, no, I've dated one person outside of in another island, and it was a different experience for sure. But I think I'm getting back there. Like I think I'm trying. I think I'm pausing. I'm pausing on Jamaicans for now. How about you? What do you feel like the dating scene is like? You know, or how do you guys see the dating scene from in your home countries versus in Jamaica?
So culture impacts how you date,
Yeah.
right? And then I think we touched on the entertainment scene in Jamaica.
Yeah.
It's quite loud and
Yeah.
bold and broad and brash and
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know, and the need to be seen and
Yeah.
how you look, and so I think that impacts how people date for sure.
Yeah.
And the environments in which you date. So I think that's a big difference immediately. And then from you touched on it, the cultural differences definitely come out because
Yeah.
you get to know this
Like
person.
what are some of the cultural differences you've seen?
Some of the cultural differences. The way you communicate
Yeah.
is one. We talked about the aggression
Yeah.
and the expressiveness.
Well, I don't.
And-
Are we aggressive? Like women are aggressive as well. The Jamaica way.
It's just
Yeah.
sometimes even the way you say, because
Yeah.
tone is communication,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And sometimes
And verbal
something
cues.
is said, something is said.
Non-verbal cues.
It's not meant it's said from someone to you, and you're going, okay,
Yeah.
and you get,
Yeah.
wait a minute, are you mad?
Yeah.
Like no, I'm just expressing myself.
Yeah.
So there's that for sure.
Yeah.
Those little intonation things
Yeah.
are big, and then you have to start trying to understand the why. Like, why is this person? Why do they behave the way they do?
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily just them. You start understanding it's because maybe of how they grew up, where they live, where they went to school, and how that impacted them,
Yeah.
right? Or similarly for me, where I'm from, how I was raised,
Yeah.
and particularly when we get back to uptown, downtown, and country, right? There are definitely differences based
Yeah.
on that person,
Yeah.
based on where they're from, right?
Yeah.
in the specific country.
Yeah.
And it happens in St. Vincent and Barbados and Jamaica.
True. True.
So there's a lot of that comes into play, because obviously if you're dating, you're getting to know this person on a different level.
Yeah.
And if there's intent to take it to another level, then obviously
Yeah.
it's important to start understanding and even learning to appreciate the differences.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? So every guy that's from a different place has told me the one thing that they cannot stand about Jamaican women is that we require too much money.
Woo!
They say that. They're like,
Drink your drink.
no, they say that. Is that true? The Dawson, you're the man
I'm
here.
gonna
Is that
take-
true?
I wasn't gonna open this one, but since I will oblige.
I mean, it's an observation on my part too.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
There is a level of entitlement
Okay.
to the material
Okay.
and an expectation that the male
Uh-huh.
is expected to provide certain amenities. From the
Okay.
moment you start dating, I believe,
Yeah.
it is expected. And then as the relationships develop,
It gets more.
it changes.
It gets more. There's more requirements. So it started out as paying for dinners. Now you're paying a bill. Like you're like, ooh. No, like one of my friends, he's from Trinidad and he's like, he's dating somebody in Jamaica and he's like, Ren, she asked me to pay her light bill. Is that normal? And I'm like, yes. For Jamaican women, yes. So it's like he's like, I really like her and she's great, but is this normal for women to ask this? So I was like, yeah, like Jamaican women are kind of bold like that.
Yeah,
So what
yeah.
about you? You said that you've seen it as well.
So yeah, from my observations, I've grown to learn about that
Mhm.
because that's not my nature for sure.
Yeah.
So hearing about that, I was stunned. But then we go back to the focus on material things, that emphasis there. So I mean, it kind of sets precedence to that.
Yeah.
Anyway. But from my eyes, I was very shocked to see the focus on. Yes, we know that males are usually the providers.
Yeah.
But I'm like, so soon though?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you're not the father figure
Yeah.
of the household. Yes,
Yeah.
though. You don't have a ring on my finger though.
Yeah.
Like,
You're just a
why?
man.
Exactly. Why is there so much emphasis
But-
on that?
Interesting. So when you guys date in your home countries, like in St. Vincent, in Barbados, when you date, or even in St. Lucia, do you think that like, is it natural that maybe people like that split the bill conversation? Like, how do you date when you ask somebody out? Is there like a expectation? Because I feel like as a Jamaican, I can speak as a Jamaican woman, and I'm going to be fair. I'm going to be honest.
Oh,
If you take me to,
be honest.
I'm going to be honest. Because
'Cause I
even if we
know-
date,
I know
you
you.
know me very well. So they're naturally expectations. For me personally, I'm going to be real. I'm as Jamaican as they come. But in terms of because if I go on a date with somebody and they take me to somewhere that's not as nice, I don't like it. Kind of, if it's a first date and you take me to somewhere that's not nice, or like you say you don't want to pay the bill or something like that, like that's a turn off for me. Is that a turn off for you?
Yeah.
For sure, right?
Definitely.
So I feel like we're pretty normal with that.
Yeah.
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 That's normal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then 50, like what is like, where do you guys see because I feel like most Jamaican is the expectation of the constant always doing it that is different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think it also has a lot to do with the position of a relationship, right? I'll be honest. I think as a man, if I have invited a young woman out,
Yeah.
then and we're just getting to know each other, the expectation is that I will take care of the bill,
Yeah.
and generally any cost that comes
Yeah.
with that date.
Yeah.
Now, if we're 8 months into a relationship,
Yeah.
maybe I expect some reciprocity at some point.
Okay,
maybe
fair.
you call me and you say, "Babe, I got this. I'm taking
Yeah.
you out tonight."
Yeah.
That
Or-
never happens.
Or babe, you know what? I'm gonna get the wine tonight,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Split the 50-50 thing, insinuates that it's like, oh, I'm cutting the bill in half.
Yeah.
It's not. I don't think. I
You
don't
just
think
want some
separate-
you just want
I
some
think for me,
representation.
in a
That
relationship,
word.
this has nothing to do with culture. It's just
Yeah.
reciprocity is
Yeah.
important.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
it can be paid, and in multiple different ways. You can
Okay.
pay me back. You don't have to say, okay, well, you bought lunch and I got
Yeah.
dinner. You could be like, babe, you took care of stuff this week. Like,
Yeah.
let's do something. I'll take you out. Let's go to
Yeah.
the movies. Like,
Yeah. You know what's weird? Somebody told me that my same Chinese. So he said to me that one thing that he finds weird is that when she brings her friends, he has to pay for her friends. Have you noticed that? as a man that you have to pay for like a female's friends as
That's
well?
a bigger discussion. I think that there has to be some sensitivity,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
That's a heavy expectation.
yeah. Have you experienced that? Like it's
I have not, but I
Good.
have offered
yeah.
to pay for friends.
Okay.
Which
Right?
is different. 'cause
Which is
that's from the
different,
kindness of
yeah.
your heart.
That's
Right.
different.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the entitlement is a
Yeah.
different story. If you're expecting that, I think that's a heavy expectation
Yeah.
to have. But you can allow me to say, you know what, I'll take care of Jan's bill today. It's
Yeah,
cool.
yeah,
You know,
okay.
She's with us. You know, I think that can happen at any point in time. But again, it's understanding who your partner is
Yeah.
as well, right? Maybe you should you be dating somebody who's just going to show up with 3 friends and be like,
True.
he's got it?
Yeah, yeah,
You know?
yeah. True. So do you prefer like so both of you, would you say that okay, you're living in Jamaica now? Are you open to or are you stuck to saying, okay, yeah, I'm good definitely dating Jamaicans. Like I've found it, I'm in my sweet spot, I understand them, I can date Jamaicans. Or for you, do you think you'd end up with a Jamaican? Or you as well, like do you think that like somebody if here or living here is permanent and you'd end up that way?
I think the odds are probably in the favor that I will.
That you will, okay.
Because
exactly.
Yeah.
but I don't necessarily look at dating from that perspective.
Okay.
I want to date a person, not a
Okay.
nationality.
Exactly.
Okay, fair.
Right?
Fair.
But the odds are probably high that it
You
may
date.
be a Jamaican person.
Okay.
But I think for me, dating is bigger than those things. I think obviously
sure.
it comes it comes with its challenges, of
Yeah.
course, because there's a meshing of lives that happens when you're dating anyone.
Mhm.
And when you're from different cultures and maybe you haven't even visited, eaten my food, met my people, understood how we interact and
Yeah.
engage, and I have to teach you that.
Yeah.
And you have to be open to learning that. So that's a challenge that you don't necessarily have dating someone who may be from the country you're from.
Yeah.
So that's a challenge. But outside of those things, dating for me is about are we compatible?
Connected, compatible.
You know?
Yeah.
Is there a willingness to compromise? Because
Okay.
those are the big C's, you know, compatibility and compromise. So yeah, beyond that part.
Okay.
Yeah, I share the same sentiments as well. I mean, with first of all, yeah, don't date for nationality.
Yeah, yeah.
It will happen, but I mean, that's based on civilization and where you're living,
Mm-hmm.
rather than, I'm going to set up to, date a sin.
Yeah, yeah.
No, you don't set up to do that. You date the person. But definitely compromise, definitely patience, open-mindedness.
Yeah.
Because like in Barbados and in your own country, you kind of have a friend that knows the backstory behind his exes and all
Yeah.
that. So you get
It's
an idea
smaller.
of the
Yeah,
person.
yeah, yeah.
Whereas if you're in a different country, you are forced to be open-minded.
Mm.
So that's a difference. It I would say challenges you as an individual for sure.
Yeah.
It definitely pushes you to the limit in terms of like, is this something that you really want to do?
Yeah.
And it forces you to learn a bit more about the person as well.
Mhm.
So you can get a more intimate level from that person rather than just like,
Yeah.
somebody from my hometown.
Yeah.
That you know of every day.
You nailed a great point. So you're a Jamaican and you're gonna date a Jamaican man, but you may have known this person since you were 15 years old.
True. Yeah.
Or you know someone who knows
Knows
them.
him, yeah.
Right? When we move to a new country or we come to Jamaica, we know who we've known, right? Some of those relationships are very shallow, you know. Maybe you know them professionally. Outside of that, you meet somebody new and you know absolutely nothing.
Friendships,
about
all
this
of that.
person.
Just outside of even
Exactly.
dating, it's friendships, everything. It's a
You
whole new
there's
space.
No context.
Yeah.
Of is this a good person?
Yeah, yeah.
Right? Is this somebody?
You're
I
really,
should-
when you think about it, you guys are really on, yeah.
You're jumping in the
You're
deep
jumping
end.
in the deep end. Yeah.
Yeah. So you have to spend a lot more time trying, learning and understanding, and then even paying attention to that's been a big one for me. How they interact with people outside of me.
Yeah.
Paying attention. That says a lot about who someone is,
True.
right? And because you have no context at all, you have to pay attention to those things. Because you don't have somebody who's come up and saying, "Yo, D, that's a good girl, like I've known this person because you don't know anybody.
Yeah.
To have that conversation.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So we've come to the close and it's been a great conversation. But what is the moral of the story? What's the one thing that you would want to leave and have like as a takeaway for the entire like discussion, or what's one thing that you want to make sure stands out?
Caribbean integration. I mean, period. I don't think that needs to be explained any further. Really and truly, we have so much to value from each other's cultures, each other's resources.
Yeah.
And we are stronger together than we are apart.
Amen. What about you?
Acceptance. I think that's the big, integration plays that. But it's really about just accepting our differences and, not seeing them as threatening.
Yeah.
Right? But understanding that, hey, yeah, we are different.
Yeah.
But we can learn from each other. And there's a lot of opportunity in that unknown space, right? If we take some time to look a little deeper. And, kind of remove the face value of things that we put on, hey, this person's Bajan or Jamaican, so I immediately walk in with this
preconceived notion,
colored glasses, right?
Yeah.
And so remove that, and I have this kind of personal thing when I meet people. It's like everyone has a blank slate, right? And then you paint that for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so where can somebody find you if they wanted to reach you? Socials, like.
I'm on Instagram, Zhane Podmore, that's said Hane. I also have a jewelry designing brand. I did not mention that when I introduced myself. How bad of me, but I'm going to toot that horn now. It's Cultured by Zhane. I make handmade accessories, and they're unique, one of a kind, and truly Afro-Caribbean, very Caribbean inspired by our vibrant colors, because one thing's for sure that brings us all together is the fact that we love vibrant colors. Okay, so yeah, definitely check that out, Cultured by Zhane on Instagram.
Okay, thank you. And you, Mr. Dawson?
All right, so I think you find me on LinkedIn, Dawson Lewis, DAWSON LEWIS, and I'm also on Instagram at Dawson CEO.
Okay, and all of that information will be in the description below. So thank you guys so much for coming. It was a great discussion, and that was the Goodgal podcast. We will see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.